This video was published by mbkpinternational.com. In this video we're going to talk about our perfect G17 Pro paper cutter and adjusting the angle of the blade. And by angle I mean the angle that comes down into the cut pad. Sometimes they come down and they don't, if it doesn't go all the way into the cut pad. Sometimes it comes down and it hits flush on the cut pad right away, and both those are wrong. This is the proper way it should come down right here. Now, best way to tell is just to slowly lower it down here and get down eye level with this until this top of this blade touches the red cut pad. Not goes into it, but touches the top of it. Once it's touching the top with no light coming through right there, but it's touching the top but not really in it, you look over this side and it should only be about 1/8 of an inch left from the pad, okay? And that's the proper way there. That's the proper height. Now you can back off a little bit and you can see as I continue to pull down, this will go into it and kind of slide back into it, and this will come down and go onto the cut pad fully into it. And when you first get these cutters, you kind of got to work them into the cut pad a little bit. So you have to do some good pressure down here like this. It ain't just like there and it's through the paper. You got to put a little, 50, 100 pounds of pressure on there. These things are pretty strong. They can withstand a lot. So there is some pressure to be put down when it gets down to the bottom here, and you got to do a couple good push downs to get through the paper. Okay, now that's the normal way. This is to adjust it if you need to. Typically, you never have to adjust these things. We recommend you don't until you talk to us, because sometimes it could be something else. But if you do adjust it, we do have videos online, but I was going to show you a couple tips on this. When you're taking it off, it comes with this tool. And you usually want to lift the blade up about halfway. You can use a rubber mallet to loosen it. And same with tightening it, and rubber mallet to tighten it up, because it's kind of short, you don't get a whole lot of leverage. But some people have made the mistake of taking this all the way off. And let me show you. Right now you loosen it, it's stiff there, and you can turn it one way or the other. It takes some strength a little bit, so you got to have a good grip, a good strong grip, and sometimes it's even hard, because especially when they're new, they can just be a stiff mechanism in there. And a tip to help is when you're doing this, back up a little bit here, you can rock this handle up and down while you're tightening. I'll show you that later. For now, I'll show you what happens if you take this thing completely off. So you don't ever want to do that. You only want to loosen it about a half turn to a turn. But you take this off, and there's a little pin there. You got to make sure that doesn't fall out and get lost. But there's a groove there, and that's where this pin has to be in there for it to work as far as adjusting it. You see the groove there? Just line that up with it. If you lose that pin, we could send you another one. But and then after you do your adjustment, you can tighten this back down. I'll tighten it back down again with the mallet. You can help. Okay, now when you're rocking this up and down, if you do need to adjust it, you can turn this while you're rocking it up and down, and it allows it to turn a little easier if you're having trouble. You can do it this way too, and when you're doing it this way, you can see this thing, the angle of this thing move with the blade. But if you're having trouble, if it's too stiff, a tip is to rock this up and down while you're trying to turn it. It makes it a little bit easier. Now the turn of this, you're talking just a 4 or 5 degrees one way or the other. You should never have to turn this very much, like quarter turn, 1/8 of a turn, anything like that. It should be a very small amount, because you're talking about very small movements here. If you go way too far with it, you're gonna have an issue with it. Sometimes it could look like the blade's right, but it's completely a 180 flip, and it's not gonna come down at the right angle as far as cutting through the paper good, and you'll have trouble getting through the paper. So never adjust it much, if any. Talk to us first, but if you do adjust it, small amounts, and they are pretty stiff, so a tip is to rock this blade up and down while you're moving it one way or the other, and then make sure you tighten it good, because they can loosen up on you as you're using the cutter. Nice hammer or mallet to tighten it up good. And I think that's pretty much it. You've seen the angle on what you need on this, and it's a pretty simple process. This video is published by mbkpinternational.com.